In that 6 months, I've lost almost 50 pounds. It has been an amazing transformation. Everyone I see now is wondering what I've done. They just can't believe it's me. I can't believe it's me.
TopFitPros.com.
What makes you overeat? There's so many different reasons, but let me give you 7 of the most common reasons that people overeat. First of all is social pressure. Second is sweet tooth. Third, hunger cravings. Fourth, oral fixation. Fifth, stress. That's a terrible one. Sixth, lack of time to eat right. And seventh, and this is the most dangerous of all, the I don't care anymore reason. So you basically need to identify what it is that's causing you to overeat. If you need to lose weight and you want to lose weight, you need to hit it straight on. And it's not just a matter of setting your goal weight and saying, I'm going to go from here to my goal weight. Because if it was that easy, then everybody who needed to lose weight would lose weight easily and get there. It's really important for you to understand what triggers you to gain weight, what triggers you to overeat time and time and time again, and then be on the lookout for that. And we'll come back in the next video to how you identify your motivators to help you to follow the right path. But first, let's avoid the minefield of these triggers that get you every time. We'll start with social pressure. Social pressure is a big one. You go to work and they have treats sitting out there and they want you to have it. So your aunt or your mom or your sister or a friend or somebody comes to you with some treats that they just labored over and they say they're really tasty and won't you try some? And what are you going to say? You feel pressure to go ahead and eat. If you don't eat that, you feel like you're going to insult them and turn them away. And the reason why you want to lose weight in the first place may be so that you can win greater respect and admiration and affection and acceptance among people you care about. So it's really hard to turn those folks away. But if you make it clear to them that it's important for you to lose this weight, that makes it easier. Now, I know I've had clients who have said, well, I don't want people to know I'm trying to lose weight. Wow, you got to be really careful. If you're not willing to be public about the fact that you're trying to lose weight, then you're not going to have that network of support that you need. So social pressure, it's important to understand that trigger, and just understanding that that's a trigger for you will help you to begin to cope with it. All right, so social pressure. Then the next item is a sweet tooth. So you've got this craving for sweets, and you tend to give into that at a moment's notice because of the sweet tooth. That is probably the easiest one to overcome. I know you're saying, it's not easy, it's terrible. I've got this terrible craving for sweets. Well, sweets are addictive. And so if you allow yourself to have sweets and you have that sweet tooth and you have that sweets addiction, then it's going to bite you over and over and over and over again because you're going to be continuously tempted every time you're faced with sweets. But if you make a determination, a decision that you're not going to have refined sugars, you're not going to have those things that trigger those sweet tooth cravings, then it won't be long. You'll be surprised, just a few weeks, and you won't have those sweet tooth cravings. So, but you have to make that decision. You have to recognize that that's a problem for you, and then you have to make the determination that you're going to put that to the side. Now there's hunger cravings. Now hunger cravings is a real tough one. So that really comes down to if you're following the wrong plan, the wrong eating plan, a plan where you're relying on willpower, you're relying on self-discipline in the face of great hunger to be able to lose weight. That's not sustainable. So if you're dealing with hunger cravings, then you're on the wrong nutrition plan. And I suggest you try EMA or eat something else if it's not email, but something that will enable you to get through every day without ever being hungry. Very, very important. Understand that trigger for you and then avoid it. Don't let yourself be hungry. Next is oral fixation. Now, a lot of people have a habit of always putting something in their mouth. They've always got to have something in their mouth. That's huge. See, this can, if you're eating throughout the day, every day, then you're going to have a very difficult time not overeating. I mean, how can you do that? How can you eat constantly and not overeat? So you may have to take up chewing gum or begin to crunch on things like celery that don't give you any calories. But you've got to find a way to satisfy that oral fixation without constantly putting high-calorie items in your mouth, because you're going to be obese and it's unavoidable. You can't possibly get enough exercise to make up for continuously eating high-calorie items. That's just all there is to it. So oral fixation is a dangerous one. If you recognize that you've got that, then find another way to occupy your mouth with either zero-calorie items like celery that are healthy, or with chewing gum or something that you can keep your mouth occupied with and not have it be ballooning your body up. Lack of time is another big one. People who have very busy schedules will have a serious lack of time and often make that as an excuse. Well, I don't have food with me, I don't have time to do anything, I'm just going to run down and grab a quick bite. And they'll get something from a fast food place in too large of a quantity with too many calories, and that balloons a person up very quickly. So you have to recognize that if you are a busy, busy person, you can actually be much more efficient in your eating if you plan ahead. Successful people, I know if you're successful, so successful that you've got this busy, busy schedule, then you're smart enough to know how to plan ahead. You plan your business calendar ahead, you make appointments ahead, you fill up your day with productive things to do, and that's why you're so busy. You can plan your meals ahead. So if you take some of the right elements with you where you go, and Ime can help you with that, but if you take some pieces of fruit with you, you take some vegetables that you can fill in the blanks with where you're going, and then if you have to buy something, you're only buying a small part of your meal and not the entire meal somewhere, and you're able to fill in the parts of the day where you need to consume something, and you will spend less time. Less time. If you've got food with you, you don't need to go to a restaurant. You don't need to go to a fast food place. It's quicker to grab something that you've got with you than it is to go out to a fast food restaurant. So you're just fooling yourself if you're saying that that's an excuse, that you don't have time to have the right kind of food. So check out Ime on that. You certainly can find convenient, quick foods that you can have with you, and you don't need to overeat the wrong kinds of foods just because you have a busy schedule. No, not at all. Stress is another trigger that causes people to overeat. Very common trigger. A lot of my clients over the years have talked about stress, where if they get into a stressful situation, they turn to eating. And they'll eat what they call comfort foods, which typically are high-calorie items, densely packed with calories, a lot of fats, high glycemic index, so they'll spike the blood sugar, things like mashed potatoes and pies and things like that, that really, really push up the blood sugar level and cause the person to consume a whole lot of calories in a very small space. And comfort foods are anything but comfortable, because you know that as soon as you've eaten it, you feel guilty for having had that food that's going to make you bigger. And it is a stressor to feel guilty and to know that you've done something that goes against your personal goals. So it's not a good way to handle stress, to eat, to overeat especially. So what I have taught my clients is to find other outlets for stress, outlets that actually handle and reduce stress. Things like exercise, activities, doing something with friends, reading even, something that occupies the mind. But especially exercise is helpful because that not only reduces your cravings for the foods that you shouldn't be eating, but it also burns calories and reduces stress all at the same time. For me, exercise has been a tremendous stress reliever and has been the way to go to really help with body composition. Now, the most dangerous of all of these overeating triggers is the "I don't care anymore" trigger. And that catches up with a lot of people. People will lose a whole lot of weight, might go a year losing weight and lose 50 or 100 pounds over the course of 6 months or a year, and really have tremendous positive benefits to the whole process. But somewhere along the line, this trigger hits them where they feel like, you know what, I don't care anymore. And why does that happen? One reason is because a lot of times people have great expectations of the tremendous change that's going to happen in their life the moment they hit their target. They think, for example, deep down inside, they may believe that when I get to whatever the number is, when I get to 150 pounds, when I get to 130 pounds, when I get to 170 pounds, whatever the target number is, that when that happens, that I'll be so much more attractive. I'm going to have people wanting to go out with me. I'm going to have more successful business engagements. They may have unrealistic expectations about how fast other goals will be realized when they get to their goal number on weight. And it's really important that you go at this in a realistic way and not set yourself up for those kinds of unrealistic expectations. You want to have an understanding of what the weight loss will do for you in health and in other ways that are more immediate, and also understand the long-term impact of a positive difference in weight. And then set yourself up and be ready and understand that you cannot subject yourself to that "I don't care anymore" trigger that hits so many people when they get down to their weight. That is the big yo-yo trigger. So lose 50 pounds, I don't care anymore. Gain it right back. And then all of a sudden, I do care, I want to lose that weight. And it's up and down, up and down, up and down. So if you watch out for all 7 of those triggers, or whichever ones really are your particular triggers, and you prepare for them, you're much more likely to be successful in your weight loss. See you next time.
TopFitPros.com